Yesterday was Father's Day, and it was the first time in my life that I was celebrated as a dad. You see, I'm 42, and ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to get married. I always wanted to have kids. I always wanted to be a dad. Growing up, I idolized my dad, and I just always wanted to be just like him. And I wanted to have kids. I loved kids, and it just never worked out. But yesterday, my stepson Hudson gave me the gift of Father's Day, and I'll never forget that. I got married in January, and my wife has a son. He just turned 22, graduated college, landed a great job, out of state, unfortunately. The first time he and I met, after a few months of my wife and I dating, we just became fast friends. And not friends in like I'm trying to be cool with him, but I just fell in love. Of course, I fell in love with my wife, but I fell in love with him too, and he has his own special place in my heart. For a long time, I pretty much closed the door on ever really being able to be a father. I have nephews. All my friends have kids, and I'm in their lives and grateful to have that. But I never got the chance to have, someone running around trying to be just like me and thinking I'm their hero and making art projects for me, or, putting their hands in the cement, or first birthday parties, or having a kid that like scratched my new guitar or something, and having to just be a better version of myself for them. But now I'm a stepdad, and yesterday I got to be celebrated on Father's Day. I wanted to talk about today just like how much that meant to me and why that's so important. And I think there may be a lot more people than I think that ache for the opportunity to be an influence in a young person's life, whether your own kids or if you're with somebody with kids. God works in mysterious ways. We know this. I did not want to drive a wedge in between his and my wife's relationship. I did not want to be a wedge there. I didn't want to try to take her away to have her all to myself, or make him feel like he's a odd man out or inconvenience or anything like that. So I committed to looking at myself as a guest in that relationship, and it was so important to me. And the level of commitment that my wife had to being a mother, not just in our relationship, but leading up to the time that I met her, was so attractive to me. And I think about if she had just thrown him aside just to spend all her time with me, or to prioritize just me, and that would have been so unattractive. And so I didn't want that. And she didn't either. And the three of us we became a family. I have a family. It's not the way I thought it would be when I was young. And quite frankly, up until a few years ago, I didn't really ever think I would settle down. I had told myself, I don't want to get married. I don't want kids. That wasn't true. I just was kind of revolting over the idea that I wanted it because I didn't think I could. And now I have a family. And yeah, it wasn't the way it worked out, wasn't what I had pictured early on. But man, it's awesome. And so I see pictures now of Hudson as a little boy, baby pictures as a toddler, as a teenager, and it's like, I'm sad that I wasn't there to be a part of those things. But I love him so much, and I feel like when I look at those pictures, I feel like I knew that little boy. I feel like I knew that toddler, or that teenager. And even though I met him when he was 19, I feel like I knew him. And I can't imagine life without him. Of course, I can't imagine my life without my wife, but my little family. And so it wasn't the way I had planned, but I got to be celebrated on Father's Day. And it didn't happen until I was 42.